Okay, so I'm finally gonna take a look at this. It's that fucking Second Axe Hentai Action figure. The Second Axe Hentai Action Succubus Queen Lisbeth. This figure is extremely fucking hard to get, and I highly recommend you try to order the new version of it on Hobby Genki or whatever fucking website has it available. And hopefully other websites will still have it available, but my bad for not doing this video fast enough. So this figure is based on artwork from Asanagi slash Victim Girls, I believe. Asanagi is a hentai artist who makes characters with ridiculous fucking proportions, as you can clearly see in the figure. And this character specifically is based off a doujinshi he made called Succubus Queen versus Zako Goblin, or Succubus Queen versus Goblin Grunts, or what it says on the box, Succubus Queen versus Wimpy Goblins. I'm not sure which one is the correct one. Yeah, and in this comic, it's a bunch of succubi, and then, they deal with these annoying goblins, and, the goblins have their way with them. Because, well, that's just how hentai works. And if you look at the promo images for this figure, it literally is trying to recreate that with these goblin figures that are from a different company. It's actually this brand of figures you'll see on screen. If you want the goblins for yourself, I guess. I might get them, I don't know. So yeah, this is the latest in their line of hentai action figures, because every other figure prior was, besides like two other ones, were based on the Taimanin series. So Asagi, Sakura, Yukikaze, and then technically Soneko was part of it because she has the same exact engineering and everything. It's just that since she wasn't a hentai character, they released it under a different line with Sentinel. And the previous two, one of them was based on Tsuji Santa, the same artist who created Super Soneko. So it's an original BDSM character that he created. And that one's like the hardest one to get at the moment because it's so expensive, and the only hope I have is getting bootlegs or hoping someone has it for a good price. And then the other one is from Raita, who is an artist that is frequently part of Fate Grand Order, and he's done a whole bunch of other stuff, and he always draws his characters in a particular way as well. So I'm hoping this line continues so that they make more figures based off like other famous like hentai artists, because I think Mogudon is a great artist who has very similar proportions in terms of characters like to Asanagi and Tsuji Santa, so I think continuing the line would be pretty awesome. But please don't make these things so fucking limited, like they're so hard to get their hands on if you don't get them initially. Hold on, let me actually talk about the price. So the problem with this thing is that since it came out like a little, like last year I believe, I missed a pre-order for it because I assumed that just like the Taimanin figures, I could just get it easily. But no, that's not what happened at all. I missed a pre-order, and then it became impossible to get. Like, I remember I checked Yahoo Auctions, I checked Mercari, I checked eBay. It's like, oh no. If you didn't get this when it came out, you were gonna have to pay like $400 or $500. Like now I think I've seen it as high as like 600 something. So it's like, yeah, no, I'm not fucking paying that. I somehow lucked out and found a pre-order from a website called Amuzi, and Amuzi is a website that's based in fucking Belgium of all places. And yeah, I had to overpay a little bit to get this thing. This thing's supposed to be like 160 or something, so I paid almost 300, which I don't feel comfortable admitting. But it was better than the eBay prices, so I was like, you know what, fuck it, swallow my pride. Plus, the only reason it cost that much is because of the shipping. The shipping, for some reason, costs way too much when you send from Europe to America, which fucking sucks, but whatever. So, I guess I lucked out at a cost, but I lucked out and I got it. So, now that you know what the situation for this thing is, please try and get the new one, if you can. I'm gonna try and get 3 of them, but, yeah. Because it's limited to 3 people. But anyway, let's finally talk about this damn thing, because I've been rambling for too long. Okay, so Lisbeth stands at about just about like 6 inches. She's almost a 6-inch figure, which means she's somewhere around almost 15 centimeters. So she's like 14 and a half centimeters, I think, if you count the crown. It's like almost 15. So that's pretty good. And for comparison's sake, and here she is next to one of the previous hentai action figures, which is the metallic version of Asagi from, Taimanin Asagi, and she's a little short. You can tell that Lisbeth is a little short, but I think she's intended to be like a short stack or like a below average height type of character, because he typically draws his characters either really tall or kind of short. So Asagi's about this high up, and you can see the height difference right here. You can actually see, you can also see the difference in engineering. Asagi is designed very differently from how they did Lisbeth, but there's also a lot of similarities in terms of like how they did the knees. Like knees are double jointed, arms are single jointed, but the shoulders and the lower torso area are very different, and I'll show you that real quick after we do the aesthetics. You can also see that the skin and everything is a different shade. Like Asagi has like a more yellowish skin tone, while Lisbeth has a more pinkish skin tone. It's a little hard to see, but there's the difference there. So let's take a look at her aesthetics right now. Yeah, you can see right here, I think the proportions and everything on her are about as accurate as they need to be. So you can see the way Asanagi draws the character's eyes, he always gives them this sort of like pointy, like really thick eyelash sort of look to him. And the curve right here on the bottom, you can see that. Yeah. And the face, the structure of the face is also very similar to how he actually does it, like in his artwork. So it's like kind of the typical anime shape, but it's also like has a bit more nuance to it, like the way the nose curves and connects to the face, but it's still kind of like your typical anime face. They even did the eyebrows the way he normally does it too. Let me see if I can take this off first. I shall be taking plenty of things off. Yeah, you can see they have some short eyebrows, and you can see how they did the eyelids and everything. It's in the typical way that he does it. And the mouth even has some depth to it. You can see the teeth. And there's a little bit of a like mouth or lower jaw for the teeth right there. And you can even see like there's some like cheekbone like embedded into the sides of the face. And of course she has elf ears, because you know this is the year of elf propaganda right now with like Delicious and Dungeon and everything and Freeman. So everything's all about elves. She has really nice like silvery purple type of hair with an extra sheen to it. Like you can't really see it on camera, but there's a sheen here. And it's like a like reddish kind of tone to it. It's kind of hard to tell what color it's supposed to be. Hold on. She has this cool little crown. They actually painted it, but I feel like it should have a bit more detail. Like, shouldn't this part just be like black or match the hair color since it's like on top of her head? I don't know. And then she has like these black horns, which I think should have had more detail. Like they should have made those lines a bit thicker, and maybe added some like gray, light gray shading to kind of make the ridges in the horns look better. But I don't know, it looks pretty good. The hair has like these two little twin tails like on the side. They don't really rotate or anything, which kind of sucks, and I'm a little scared that they might break because they seem pretty fragile. Yeah, then the back of her hair, I think, isn't the hair ties like this. The rest of her hair kind of goes down like this. And you can see that it splits right here, and there's actually two separate things right here. These actually are on hinges, I think, and you can actually move them out of the way. So the head actually gets a bit more range, but we'll talk about that in the articulation. Here you can still see the extra highlights in the hair. I actually think it's pretty cool. It looks like a peach kind of color or red, I'm not sure, but it's kind of hard to tell. You can see right here in the neck, they actually painted like the little like collar or whatever she has on her neck, and it goes all the way wrapped around, which I think is cool. For the skin, you know, they got the skin right. It's hard to tell on camera, but it's in person, it's very like pinkish. She has a very like peach color, like pinkish skin tone, which I think matches the artwork pretty well from what I remember seeing. And of course the body proportions are as exaggerated as they need to be. Like, she has like the really high up shoulders, she has the giant fucking chest. Like, look at this. Let's look real quickly. Look at the comparison here. There's no contest between Asagi and Lisbeth. One of them clearly has the bigger chest. They actually added a lot of shading to the body, which we'll go over. It's very hard to see it, but there's shading right here in between the cleavage. And there's some hints of like red and everything on the arms. Like, I wish you could see it, but it's hard to show you on the fucking camera. Like, it's very pink. I don't know why it's not appearing that way on camera, but like, it's very pink. What I think is interesting is that a lot of the sculpt looks very segmented, and I don't know if that's in a bad way. Like, you can see it. The arms, like the swivel for the arms is very obvious on the bicep, and then, you know, there's the shoulder joints, you can see those, and then you can even see the thing for the neck right here in the middle. And then what I don't like is this part right here for the back of the neck. You can see, like, it's just like a flat thing on the back of her neck, which looks really weird. It kind of takes away from the figure, but it's on the back, so I guess it's not too noticeable. The other problem is since they changed the stomach system, this was, you know, a ball joint, like with a giant waist, like diaper piece area. So what you could do before was that you could go like this, like you could tilt it and go all around. But now they changed it to, it's essentially just an ab crunch, and I think it's worse in terms of looks. Like, it looks so obvious. You see that? Look, the line is like right there in the middle. So I don't know how I feel about that. Anyway, she also has... The other thing that's weird visually is that you can see the separation in the arms. It's hard to tell, but you can see that there's a gap right here on where the arms are, and they did that exactly like the way Kotobukiya does model kits for their characters, where the arms connect like on one peg and then they snap together on another peg to close the arm. If you look at the Lania model kit video I did, you'll see that the arms are in a very similar structure, where it's like single jointed and has this connection here. Like, it's really weird how segmented it is, but it's not ugly, which I think is fine. You can see right here that the lower waist has like the same really wide proportions that he typically draws, and even when you lean it back, you can still see that, like, wide hip into slim waist, into like slim like stomach area. And especially on the back, you can kind of see it. See, it's like all slim on the back, and then everything else that's huge is, you know, on the chest. Also, she does have some ass. Like, it does look kind of big. It's a little weird looking, but it's there. Unlike, what was her face? So the Sophia figure, where she had like negative ass. The hips have ridiculous, the legs have ridiculous thickness. Like, look at the fucking thighs here. Like, let me look real quick at Asagi's thighs. Like, I don't have Sonico on me right now, I'll do that later, but look at the difference in the thighs. Like, those are some kind of big thighs, but you can see that, like, her thighs are like twice the size. Like, even with all this extra shit on, and this part making it a little bit thicker, like, it's not the same. Also, my Asagi figures, I think he's gotten really loose. I'm not sure what's going on there. I have to fix that. And so she has solid, like, matte, kind of satin or matte black, I think, for the black parts of her outfit, as little as she's wearing. But you can see, like, there's a shiny black here. This is a little floating piece that, like, wiggles around. You can rotate these. The hinges and the hands are the same color. The bra, or whatever this is supposed to be, is the same color. And it does have a nipple protruding onto it. You can kind of see that. See, it does like poke out a little bit, which is cool. They did a better job than Good Smile did with Sophia in terms of like making the skin look like it's squeezing. See, like there's a little gap right here. It's hard to see, but you can see the gap on where the bra connects to the skin. There's actually a gap there. They didn't do that with the Good Smile Sophia. The Good Smile Sophia originally only had that gap here. See? And you can see it's squeezed in, and the color separation is a lot cleaner on this figure compared to like the Sophia. So I think they did a great job making it look like it's squishing the boobs. I think they could have added a little bit more squishing right here into the front, since it's like right there, but that's fine. And it obviously connects all the way to the back, you can see right here. And they did a great job with it. Like, it could be a little bit cleaner here, I think, but it's kind of hard to recreate that effect in a 6-inch scale and make it look good, as evident with the Sophia. But yeah, there we go. The legs have more skin indentation on them. You can see like the thighs have like skin kind of going over the stockings, kind of like Sonico's figure. So it shows that the leg is literally being squeezed, so you get some of that extra skin like going over it. And then you have the rest of it going down. You see how it slims down as it goes? Because it's like thick on the top and then it slims down a little bit. So this is all the same kind of like satin or matte type of finish. It's not super glossy, which is fine. And I think it looks good. But you can still see, like, this is either like the seam line or that's just how the tights look, but you can tell that it's a seam line because it's inconsistent. Look, it's skinnier here than it is here. Like this is much like more closed, and then this has a bigger gap, which is weird. So it's almost like this was gonna be a model kit or something, and then they decided to just make it a figure halfway through, which is weird because why does it look the way it does? And it even has the same legs as like a model kit does. Like, again, look at my Lania figure, or any of the other Megami, or the Megami device speed build I did, where you can see it has this same type of leg and ankle articulation, which is really strange. But this thing also has its own unique foot articulation, which I'm going to get to later in the video. But so overall, I think the aesthetic looks extremely good, but certain things are holding it back, like the weird segmented parts, like being really obvious. And just, I don't like how the ab crunch looks on it. Like, it just looks weird. So I'm gonna give her, in terms of proportions and everything, and also the boobs don't move, so do I take points away from that? So I'm gonna give her about, I'm gonna say 8.5 for aesthetic. I think she looks pretty good, but it could look even better. And also you can see like a little bit of gapping here on the legs in the thigh, but not too big of a deal. And also she has a butt cheek and that kind of gets in the way of like moving back, so but that's an articulation thing. So I'll give her 8.5 for aesthetic. She looks pretty good. Okay, so the head is on a different, slightly different type of joint. So the original Taimanin figures and Sonico were on a weird like single peg like thing that connects to that. Let me show you. She's basically on a ball peg that connects to the back of the head, which connects to the neck like this. So it's really weird and strange looking. You can see there's a ball peg on the back of the neck, and then it basically a double ball peg from the back of the neck to that connects to the hair, that connects to the actual neck. So I think that's really weird. And even though it's functional, it basically functions like the way Figma figures do, which means it's very limited. But that was like the only weak part of these figures, in my opinion. Like for the Taimanin Hentai Action figures. Their necks weren't the best, but everything else about them was really good, so I was able to forgive that. This one, on the other hand, has a much better system, at least I think so, which is similar but not quite. So it's kind of like a model kit where it connects the back of this part here, connects to the neck, but it's on a separate ball peg that goes straight up, which is much better. So you can actually, I like the head and neck system on this much better because even though it's similar to a model kit like Kotobukiya and others, and it connects from this thing to the actual neck joint, it's a straight peg all the way up, which means you can actually go like this. Look at how much more range you get from doing this. You'll be able to actually move the head in directions that you couldn't with, unlike Asanagi and the others. So I think that's actually really good. The only problem I had is that if you rotate the head, this part can actually rotate on its own, and then it can kind of jumble up like the straight peg. See? It's already trying to get misaligned. So you have to try and shimmy it back to in place, which I think is a little annoying, but it's a minor setback. See, I already fucked it up by doing it myself. But with the face and everything on, let's see how it actually moves. Luckily, this piece of the front part of the hair is soft and flexible, so it won't completely get in the way. Okay, so going back, since this part of the hair can actually move, you can actually get it to move back a little bit. So you can hinge this a little bit, move it back, and you can get all this kind of neck. The neck goes about this far back, which I think is pretty good. You can tilt it all the way forward like this, so she can look down at her own boobages. You can tilt her head to the side like this, pretty much all the way. Which, if you want to fucking break her neck, then there you go. and then you can tilt it all the way the other side, pretty much the same. So if you want to break her neck, then there you go. And then moving the neck all the way back, combined with the hinge and everything, you can move it about this far back before it starts knocking into other things, which is pretty cool. And then going all the way forward, it's a bit limited due to the hair kind of getting in the way. But you can still pretty much have her look down. Like, if you just do this, then there you go. The neck doesn't move side to side, which kind of sucks, so it's just stuck as a straight hinge, but the hinge combined with the ball peg is a lot better than the other system that they used for the other hentai action figures, so this is an improvement. I'm not sure how I feel about this. This is both an improvement and also weird, because the way they did the other Taimanin figures, or the other hentai action figures, is that with Asanagi, you can see here, she had the typical like butterfly joint, like arm, like hinge connecting to the arm sort of thing. So it was able to move around like this freely, and it could go like this and reach across the chest like a little bit. But it had a weird habit of doing this, and I don't know why it does that. It didn't do it on this arm, but it did on the other one. But you could still kind of get the sword arm like across, so that you could still make her hold the sword with two hands. You could theoretically do it, but it takes a lot of fiddling. Like when I did the Sonica review, it took a lot of fiddling to get that right. But if you know what you're doing, you can get her to hold the sword with two hands. It's just annoying. So this system is both good and bad because it depends on how they engineer the body. This one is really interesting because it's essentially just a straight peg that connects to the shoulder. The shoulder has a straight peg, this part connects to it, and then it has essentially like a hinge here, like a two-way hinge thing here, kind of like the way they do elbows. Like, it's basically this, but on here, or the way Revoltech does their knees, which I think I talked about in the unboxing. So you can see it here, and then this part is the part that rotates. Right here, the part on the butterfly joint. So this is how it works. It rotates like this. See? And then that's it. But it looks really weird. Like, does that not look weird to you? I think it looked kind of weird. But I think if it functions, then I don't think it matters. And then you just rotate it back. It kind of makes having the arm go all the way up look weird, because it can't really do that. Like, what you have to do is that you have to make this armpit part go all the way up and then rotate the bicep so that it can make the arm look like it's going up, which may or may not be a good thing depending on if you prefer this system, because if you do it with Asanagi, you can just do it the normal way, which is just lift the arm up. Like, if you can just rotate the arm, there you go, that's much easier. This one is a bit more like, I think, like the way Revoltech does like their legs, where their legs aren't completely straightforward. They have to take a bit more learning. So, and also, depending on the angle, you can kind of get stuck, because you have to rotate this whole thing. So you have to rotate it at a specific angle to fix it, because it is an angled peg, it's not straight. But you can bring the arms all the way down, which is good, so that's fine. And then you can just rotate the bicep, and there you go. So I like it, but it's also kind of weird. But you can bring the arm across the chest, which is cool. You can just do this. Hold on. Yeah, you can just go like this, and it works. So that is perfectly functional, and doesn't seem to be a problem for me, so there you go. So the arms are really good, so I'll give them that. And in terms of elbows, let's see. See, this is what I'm talking about. See, now I can get kind of stuck and I gotta fix it. It's really weird, so don't try and rotate it all the way, because then it can get stuck. You have to, like, get it at a specific point. Like that. You have to do it like that, which is... I don't like that you have to be so careful, but you have to keep in mind this is how they designed it. They were bragging about it. They're like, oh yeah, this is a brand new system that we came up with. It's like trademarked, I think. So it has a single jointed elbow, which is on par with you know, Asagi's arm as well. Her arm can just go all the way like that too. I don't know if the range is better though. I can't tell. It's actually wait, it's a little bit better, I think. Probably the same. I can't tell. She has shorter forearms, so I can't tell. Asagi's arms are a lot longer, so it's a little hard to notice. So that's actually pretty good range. The ball joint is it's typical wrist peg and everything, so it just kind of goes like this. You can make it go inward and outward, and then vertical. Well, you can make it just go like that. Yeah, so it's the same as always. Now for the chest area, which I know everyone is interested in. Yeah, everyone loves her chest, right? Now, well, you're gonna get a good look at it. So the chest by itself, the torso, the upper torso can go like this. Can lean all the way back like this, including with the hair not getting completely in the way. There you go. It can lean all the way back like this. And for comparison, Asagi can lean all the way back on her joint like this. So I'd say it's about the same. Yeah, it seems to be about the same. It's just that her hair gets more in the way. But yeah, there you go. And let's see how far it goes forward. So going forward, this thing tilts about this far, which is kind of alright. And Asagi can go like this. You can kind of do the same. So I think they use the same exact type of engineering they used before. So it's about that much. Okay, but here's the difference. Like I said, she has like a reverse ab crunch sort of thing here. You can see like the huge obvious cut here. So let's see how far back it goes with both joints connected. So not too far. All it does is make the back like go a bit more straight up. And then going forward, it's not the best range, but it's still pretty good. So she can still crunch forward. So if you need her to do a specific type of pose or something, then you can get her to crunch. And once again, for comparison, let's just show you. So Asagi has a different system, which I wish they used on LIZBETH, which is a ball joint instead of an ab crunch. Because with a ball joint, you can tilt it to the side. Look. See, you can tilt to the side, so you get a little bit more nuance. I don't know why Asagi looks more blue in the video. She's like really bright purple. Really deep purple, but anyway. Yeah, so then you can go do that. And then going back, she can't go too far back. And then going forward, I can't tell if she can lean more than the other one can. I don't know if the giant tits are making it hard to tell, but it looks like they can kind of ab crunch the same amount, so maybe it doesn't really matter. What they do have in common though is the leg system. The leg system is pretty much the same. So what they did with LIZBETH is and the other ones is they have essentially a two-way ball peg. So one connects to the sockets here in the thighs, and then they both connect to some sort of system here in the stomach area, and they just stay there. So it's not like a typical like Y or T shape thing that they have on most figures. So you can kind of see it. Let me see if I can show you. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell, but you can kind of see it. It's two separate things. They both go inwards towards the upper part of the body. So let's see how good she can kick forward. Also, you gotta keep in mind paint rub with these things. It's a bit hard to tell, but there's some paint rub on mine already, just from messing around with it. Especially right here, because I think the hand was next to it. So, kicking forward, no problem at all. You can adjust it if you need to with the ball joint system to make it look more flush, so it looks like her butt is connected properly. But you can pretty much get 90 degrees, which is totally fine. Like, that looks perfectly fine. Her legs look a little weird because it has like the same fucking model kit type of legs with the weird curve, but looks totally fine. And then going back, can't go back because of the butt cheeks. And I've already complained enough about butt cheeks. I might as well just make a video talking about how much I hate the butt cheeks. Going out to the side, she can't go out as far as Asanagi and the others, but she can still go kind of far. So she can only go about, let me see. See if I can do it right without fucking it up. She can only go about this far, which isn't the best, but it still gives you enough to do a full split. And you can stand up on one foot if you know what you're doing. I'll show you a picture. I was able to get it to stand up. It wasn't easy, but I did it. So I think if they had just changed the placement of the socket, because you see the socket is too... Oh wait, sorry. The problem is that the socket is too deep into the leg. It's like way too deep into the joint, so then when it rotates, there's no room for it to split open. So I think in the Sonico one you could see that like it splits open and goes a bit further, but they didn't design it that way with this one. They just kept it like super deep into the socket. You can see, look, it's like all the way in the back, like where the leg is. Like it doesn't need to be in the back, it needs to be in the front so that you can rotate it all the way. But oh well. So her legs aren't the best, like the upper thigh isn't the best, but it's still better than like a lot of other figures I've reviewed, where especially like some of the other like Bandai ones. Oh no, I gotta move this. Yeah, this is the other problem I have with this joint system. It can get jumbled up. I have to try and fix this. It's hard to put everything back into place because it's not a uniform system. It's kind of its own weird system. Like, I think that gapping is just gonna be there regardless, but whatever. Okay, so now I fixed it. This is the best part, I think, the double jointed knees. Look, watch this. Wow, look at these knees. They go all the way back, and the proportioning's not too bad, considering the fact that she's wearing high heels. If you just kind of do this, and just pretend this is the bottom of the foot, it's actually, like, right up to where her butt is, which is actually accurate in terms of proportions. Like a human leg is about this long, and then the ankle is and the ankle and like the lower leg are supposed to be about this big. So connecting it to the foot, that's pretty good. For Asanagi, I don't remember if it was the same. Let me look at it. Her leg doesn't go as far back because they didn't cut the back here, which is annoying. They learned to do that later, I think, with Sonico. I know they did that with her. And then they really learned their lesson now, because look at that great bend. But you can see the foot is like a little too big. Like this lower leg is way too long, and the ankle essentially is where the butt is. That's too long. Because if you make it like this, if you kind of like flatten it, see, still too long. It's like up to here instead of here, so they kind of fucked that up. I never realized that the first time I looked at it, but I think I might have mentioned that it was too long. And then for the hinge, right here, they have their own weird system that is similar to the model kits, but they changed something at the foot. So this is actually like a peg that connects to the foot, and then it connects to this little part here that the legs keep in place. So they snap into this little hinge thing right here. But they added an extra thing where the foot can rotate while this part stays the same. So it's really similar to Megami Device and the other ones, but like, what the hell? Like, this looks weird. I think it looks weird because the skin and like the painted color here don't rotate with it, see? So it stays there. Like, look at that. But I don't think it matters too much because this figure can balance fairly well. And also, look at the fucking, like, the ankle range right there. Look at that. That's crazy. It doesn't go very far back, but it goes really far forward, which is very uncommon. And then for the toes, gosh, yeah, she has exposed feet if you want to see that. But they go all the way up like this, and they can flatten like this, like I showed a little bit earlier. So if you want them to look weird, you can make them look weird. And they actually are pretty strong joints. They're not super loose toe hinges, so you can actually get her to stand up properly, which I did show off in the beginning. See? Took no effort. She's standing up on her own. So there you go. Okay, so for articulation, I'm gonna give her... It's a little bit hard to judge because the lower torso isn't as good as it could be. And they decided to use something outdated, in my opinion, which is an ab crunch. And unlike Mio, they didn't combine it with a ball joint, so you don't get like super ab crunch. Everything else is really good though. Like the neck system is not bad; it's still good. The arms are really good, even though they have their own weird quirks, like having to rotate this part. The elbows are good. The knees are amazing. The legs, upper legs, don't go out as far as they should. And the ankles are good, and she can stand up on her own, so I'd say, I'll say 8.5, I think. I know this is the second time I'm saying 8.5, but 8.5, I think, in terms of articulation, it's pretty good. Like, you'll be able to get her in the poses that you need to. And I already know that there's a lot of inappropriate poses everyone's thinking about. Okay, so now we can talk about what's probably the most exciting part, at least for some people. The accessories. Okay, so Succubus Queen Lisbeth comes with the following accessories. She comes with 3 faces, so she comes with the neutral face with her looking off to the left. She comes with kind of shocked or aroused sort of face, like something's going on there. And then of course she comes with her orgasming face, or I don't know, maybe she stubbed her toe. Considering the nature of this figure, yeah, I think those faces are to be expected. She has wings on the back of her body, which are technically an accessory, but they're supposed to be part of the character design, so I'm not going to count those. And the other thing I'm not going to count, technically, is the tail. This tail is made out of a hard wire. It originally comes in like completely straight, but you can curve the tail so that you can change it to whatever like sort of shape you want. And I think you can even manipulate it so you can have it like cover the crotch area if you so desire. And then she comes with 3 pairs of hands, so she comes with the 2 fist hands, which is kind of surprising, she actually comes with fist hands. And then she comes with 2 open palm, like kind of clenchy hands, and then 2 peace sign hands. And then, the best part, which I think is the reason that you should get this figure regardless of the price, even though, you know, be careful with the price, but I think this is the reason you should get this figure in the first place. It comes with a particular thing inside of this black baggie, and we're going to take a look at it. But before that, I just want to mention that it also comes with the typical figure stand that all Second Axe figures seem to come with. And Sonico came with the same one, so that's how I know it's the same brand. So this one's just like, you know, a glossy black, and it has a peg hole right here. And this thing has 4 different like segmented points, which I think is great. This is actually one of the best figure stands in my opinion. It doesn't come with a claw, but it does peg into the back of her body, which is fine. The hair kind of gets in the way though. So I'll show that to you real quick before we move on to the best accessory. Yeah, so here you can see she has a peg hole on the back right here. This is for the tail, this is for her. So you kind of just peg this on right here. Oh, okay. Okay, so they did something a little bit different this time. I didn't notice, but this peg hole has a specific shape for her body. You see, it's like an oval shape instead of a typical straight peg. There we go. Now it connects. Yeah, so now you can have Lisbeth, I don't know, doing whatever. You can just have her do this shit. Okay. As for the tail is really easy. It's annoying because it constantly like can fall off, but all you have to do is just do this. You just kind of wedge it in there, and if you just are really careful, it won't fall off. And there you go. Now the tail is on her. And you can also rotate the tail when it's on that peg, so you can actually have it be more visible. These connect to a peg in the peg hole, like on the upper like butt cheek or whatever, and you have to like take them out to use the other accessory I'm about to show you, but they are super hard plastic and are seemingly very fragile, and I've seen other people break them, so I'm not gonna bother. So I don't think it's worth trying to break it just to remove it. And now we can talk about the best accessory, which is definitely not safe for work. The best accessory that comes with LIZBETH is this thing. It comes with a fully nude body. So this is actually the coolest accessory ever, and it's really interesting because it has different levels of shading on it that are kind of different from the main body. Like you can see here, there's more on the chest area, and the shape of the boobs are different because, you know, they're loose now. They're not like being held up by the bra. And you can see here the 4 holes, because I thought girls only had 3. But anyway, the 3 holes here and then the back. So there's 2 parts for the wings, the tail, and then the peg hole. And then of course the exposed titties. You can see them. They actually like made the nipples and everything shiny, which I think is really cool. The neck looks the same as that, so everything there is pretty much the same. You can see what I'm talking about the weird neck, like being really flat. Like look at this. Like, why does that look weird? I don't like it. I wish it was kind of curved or something, but whatever. Here you can see how some of the engineering works. You can see how the straight peg, that's how the arms connect to it. So they connect here, and then that's how you put them on. Then you put the head back in here, and then you take out the legs from the thigh-high socks, and then you connect them here. And then of course you can see this thing. Pretty sure you can see what that is. It's completely like closed up, the lips. So unlike the Taimanin one, they're not like opened, so you don't partially see like what's inside. And I don't know if that's like a regulation sort of thing, or maybe they got in trouble with those Taimanin ones. But yeah, also just different levels of shading on the figure. Like I noticed there's more red shading on the torso here than there was on that body, but yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if it's just me, but I noticed that the waist area is a slightly different color than the legs. But I might be like, my eyes just might not be working. And from what I can tell, the butt looks kind of the same, even though it's supposed to have underwear on in the other body. So it's supposed to look like it's squeezing the butt, but it looks the same. Also, no butthole or anything, so I'm sorry for anyone that wanted that. Also, I don't like how obvious the seams are on this. Like, look at that. It doesn't look right. Couldn't they have done a better job hiding the seams? So anyway, if you want to connect the naked body, the parts from the main body to the naked one, this is all you gotta do. So I suggest you take the legs, you move the tail out, which is, it already kind of does that. Then you just kind of do that. You have to rotate the legs and squeeze them out like that. Make sure they fit in these little pegs here, little peg holes. Originally when I tried this, it didn't fit. I had to like try really hard to get it to fit, and then it just fits normally. So there you go. And then you do that. I suggest you take the head off. A bit hard to take the head off without like going crazy on it. And try not to. Come on. Okay. Luckily, this head system doesn't cause anything to pop out, so there you go. Okay, so then I suggest you put the arms in. So you just gotta rotate this, pop that out, then rotate this too, and then it slips out. Make sure you can see all that. Okay, so then you put the arms in. See, you can see it's a straight peg that's connected to this hinge right here. So that's actually pretty cool. And then you gotta line it up like this. And it's a little annoying to do, which is why I don't want to swap it out all the time. But once you do, there you go. That arm is in. This one's a lot easier though. Not sure why the left arm is a bit harder to put in. There you go, put that, and then you just put the head back on. And that's a bit easier said than done. It's hard to tell sometimes if I'm getting it right. Like I'm putting it in the hole, hopefully it fits. And there you go, you get a fully naked anime girl wearing thigh-high socks. So hopefully everyone appreciates this video. I don't know if YouTube's gonna fucking allow me to upload this. I got away with it before, but I don't expect to get away with it again. But there you go. You can see LIZBETH in all her glory. You can see the big titties. If you want to see a comparison, here you go. Here's how they look next to the other one. You can see the boobs are more squeezed, so they stick out. They stick up a bit more. Whereas the other one, you can kind of see right here. They can I like, okay. Yeah, so you can see the shape is different. It goes downward because there's nothing restricting her boobs, like in an anatomical sense. And then here they're squished up because, you know, that's just how it works. So real quick, taking the hands off, you just go like this. Just pop them out. Be careful with this little wrist thing because it can pop out. And also another problem is that the entire fucking wrist joint pops out, like I said, like a model kit. Like you see, look, it's literally the same as a model kit. Like why is it like that? So anyway, you can rotate the hand out. You can rotate the hand so that you can kind of focus. You can rotate this so that you can pop the hand out, put a different hand in. Okay, so then you put the hand back in, and then you just put it through the hole on where the wrist is. And there you go, you get the peace sign hand. Luckily I was smart enough to actually put the correct one on. Not the right hand or the left hand. And then for the face, I already showed you, but let me just change the face anyway. So take that out. Take this out. It's fairly easy to take out, which I appreciate. And then I guess just put this on. And there you go. And that's it. So yeah, there you go. She doesn't come with too many accessories, just like 3 sets of hands, 3 faces, a stand, and then the naked body and the tail. So, considering that the naked body is essentially the same as like this, it's just that she's not wearing any fucking clothes. I'll still say, I think 8.5 in general is just how I feel about it. Like I want to give it a 9 or a 10, but if she came with more faces, I think, and some extra accessories, like I'm not really sure what she could come with, like maybe just more hands and other faces, and especially a face that looks straight. Like I don't like that the face doesn't look straight. I don't get it. So there's LIZBETH. If you want to get one for yourself, good luck, because it's very hard to obtain. If you really want the figure like at all, and you're willing to wait for the new one, I suggest just waiting for the new one, but that's all I can say. I'll try and do a comparison of all of the Second Axe figures once I get all of them, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So what do I think about LIZBETH? I think LIZBETH is actually a really great figure. It's just that the price is impossible to justify. It's like secondhand prices. But if you can get the new one, I think it's great. So it has good articulation, the accessories are not bad, the naked body is probably the best part, and I think the proportions and everything look pretty spot on. So if you can get your hands on this, I'd say go for it. So I'll give her, she's not like super standoutish in terms of features, so I'll still say like 8 out of 10 probably, like either 8, 8.5 out of 10. So there you go. Hopefully this was worth the wait for some people. Alright, see ya.